Some surprising news caught our attention, and it says that there were polls made for Depp. These polls showcase the abuse victims who took a step forward to support Johnny Depp for his defamation trial. Some support groups and survivors were supportive when Amber Heard first accused Johnny Depp of domestic violence. What do you think is the reason behind this poll? Let's dive into the video to know the details. Emma Davey of My Trauma Therapy, a specialist counselor and survivor of narcissistic abuse, runs a 25K strong Facebook group, Victims of Narcissistic Abuse Support Group, that assists victims. According to a recent poll of members, only 4% believe Johnny Depp is the primary abuser. So what factors led them and the experts to that conclusion? Widespread ignorance of narcissistic abuse effectively abuses victims again, explains Emma, who counsels up to 8 victims of narcissistic abuse daily. Non-specialist counselors and support organizations who do not understand the nature of narcissistic abuse are frequently duped by abusers' highly effective manipulation tactics. As a result, I've seen victims who have suffered horrific abuse lose their children in court due to their abuser. It's past time for society to become more educated about narcissism. The nature of abuse, as well as the phrases used by abusers, are remarkably consistent. What were the tells in the Depp trial that persuaded experts and victims? Number 1, narcissists constantly lie. The fact that Heard had not donated the money to charity was very telling evidence. Most people would admit that they had anticipated the truth and planned to donate at this point. Instead, Heard attempted to mislead the jury by claiming that the terms pledged and donated meant the same thing.
Not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another.
Number 2, a narcissist will never admit they are mistaken. Everyone else is the issue for them. That was evident in court. Heard blamed everyone else while Depp admitted his flaws. "You made me do that," narcissists say when they've done something particularly bad. It was a phrase used by Heard in the tapes. Number 3, because narcissists lack empathy, they find it difficult to fake emotion. For example, Heard's acting coach told her that she couldn't cry. Heard tried hard on the stand to appear distressed, but no tears flowed. Number 4, a narcissist needs to control you. One way to do so is to cut you off your support network. Depp encouraged her to spend time with her friends. When the victim breaks free from the narcissist's control, the narcissist launches a campaign to destroy them. Heard's campaign against Depp continues even after the verdict. Number 5, narcissist victims continue to fear their abusers. Victims will be screened for abusers in court because seeing them can trigger PTSD. In court, Depp avoided making eye contact with Heard, who continued to stare at him. She also gave him a huge knife. You don't give a weapon to a man you're afraid of. Number 6, a narcissist will undermine your self-esteem. A vulnerable individual is easier to control. We saw evidence of Heard attempting to discredit Depp, but only one retort from Depp. Heard used unflattering photos to undermine Depp's self-esteem. She claimed that she was trying to help him get clean, but the evidence showed that she was also using drugs and drinking heavily. The tape of Heard mocking Depp's career and his sister's testimony that Heard mocked the idea that Depp had the class and style to represent Dior are all very selfish. Many victims found it difficult to listen to Heard's tapes because the language was similar to that of their abusers. Number 7, narcissists are narcissistic from birth. An abuser does not become abusive overnight. Ex-partners of Depp have come out in support of him. Heard has a history of domestic violence, and a recording of her sister being questioned about being assaulted by her exists. Number 8, narcissists deceive. Narcissists require the ego boost of other lovers and do not care if they hurt their partner. Heard had multiple lovers while married to Depp, according to new evidence. Number 9, a narcissist will eventually snap at you. Everyone has a breaking point. It's the point at which the torture of abuse becomes too much to bear, and victims respond with what is known as reactive abuse. There are numerous forms this can take. Some will harm themselves to the point of suicide, while others will murder their abuser. These victims frequently confess to the crimes and are calm both before and after. In less severe cases, the victim will find comfort in imagining the abuser's death in graphic detail. That was evident with Depp. To an outsider, some of his texts appear disgusting and misogynistic, but they are a common, less extreme response to the daily torture of abuse. Many people consider reactive abuse to be abusive, and as a result, nearly 1/3 of our members believe that both partners are abusive. These are most likely victims who have not yet reached their breaking point. I've been violently assaulted, and I see people every day who have been subjected to domestic abuse, Emma concluded. Makeup can be used to conceal minor bruising. A serious assault like the one described cannot be. To suggest that the marks are minor is an insult to survivors. Ice cannot make the eyes look normal because they swell to closing. For several days, the injuries appear horrific. You must go to the hospital. Depp was the only one who sustained an injury that necessitated hospitalization. Male victims are less common, but I counsel a lot of them. This case has raised awareness of the nature of abuse and the fact that it is not gender-specific. The victims I speak to welcome the verdict. The poll was held at the end of June 2022 and asked members of the Facebook group, out of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, who do you think was the abuser? Amber Heard received 62% of the votes, 31% of the votes both, 4% of those polled responded Depp, and some people thought it was impossible to tell. What do you think about this voting? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.